Hey everyone, it's Ethan Ormus back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys, for yet again another episode of our franchise mode here with the Washington Capitals, and I'm very excited to get into this one. This is, of course, only episode 2, but we're here in the postseason, and we get to face the New York Islanders here in the first round, which is an exciting series because we just faced them 2 seasons ago, which obviously is not that long ago, and of course, a rival division opponent, we'll say. So I am very intrigued to see how this goes. So let's take a look at what our team looks like first. And if I sound tired, I'm sorry. I just woke up. You guys know with my new schedule, I don't really have time to record very much, unfortunately. So this is what the team is looking like right now. So we've got Ovi, Backstrom, and Oshie on the top line. And we've got Yarncroc, who we acquired at the deadline with Kuznetsov and Mantha. Sheary, McMichael, and Wilson on the third line. Dowd, Eller, and Sprong on the fourth line. Defensively, we have Chalowski with Carlson. Orlov with Schultz, and Kempny with Irwin. And then for goalies, we have Samsonov and Copley. So intrigued to see how Samsonov will do this year. How did he do in playoffs last year? He didn't play last year. He played the year before, though. I think he was injured, wasn't he? I think he was injured the year prior. I think it was Vanacek and Copley that was playing for Washington last year. So yeah, this series was where that series of stats, those 3 games, is where the Islanders and Caps met. So it wasn't too long ago. Now let's go and take a look at what the New York Islanders look like, because I really don't know. I don't know overalls much at all. I have not looked at overalls really at all this season, this year, I guess, sorry. So, Josh Bailey, Matt Barzal, and Kyle Palmieri, a pretty solid top line. Oliver Wahlstrom, Brock Nelson, and Anders Lee, a pretty solid second line. Anthony Beauvillier, Casey Zizekas, and Cal Clutterbuck on the third line, a pretty solid third line. Leo Komarov, Jean-Gabriel Pajot, and Zach Parise on the fourth line, a pretty solid fourth line. Adam Pellick's an 86, wow, and Ryan Pulock. Okay, that's a very good top pairing defenseman. Chara and Dobson on the second pair, really good. And Mayfield and Green, a really good third pairing as well. And then for goalies, Semyon Varlamov, I don't know why I said it like that, and Ilya Sorokin. So 2 really solid goalies as well. This is a very good team. You can see why they are able to make it to the conference final last year. And they've been doing very good in the playoffs the past couple seasons. So we'll start off the simulation and we'll see how we do here against the New York Islanders. So in period number 1, we are in New York. Let's start it off. So New York opens up the scoring. Ryan Pulock with the first goal of the game. All right. Second period, we are out shooting them, but an all right first period, I guess. At least it's only 1-0. Second period now, it is 2-2. So Kuznetsov and Sheary with back-to-back goals in like 30 seconds. And then Kyle Palmieri ends up tying it not too long after that. We're still out shooting them 21-15. And of course, if you guys know me, I slow sim the third period. And right away in the start of the third period, Alex Ovechkin in his spot gets his first goal of the postseason. Nice, a power play for the Islanders, which we are able to kill off. The shots are basically even now as well, but we only have 6 minutes left now of this game, and we have the lead still. Lars Eller makes it a 2-goal game, and that could be the dagger, and it will be. So Alex Ovechkin with the eventual game winner. Ilya Samsonov with 29 saves and a 9.35 is very, very solid. Barzal and Palmieri, the other 2 stars. I'm surprised it wasn't a Capital in there, especially since Ovi was the one that got the game winner. Nonetheless, for some reason, they do back-to-backs now. I don't know if they will be doing that in future seasons again. I think that was really just for COVID, but nonetheless, let's take a look here at Game 2. Again, of course, in New York, they have the home series advantage. Let's go. First period, not a great start. Josh Bailey, Anders Lee, and Oliver Wahlstrom, basically all of their wingers in their top 6 get a goal. Not a great start. And we're getting outshot 11-10 right now as well. I feel like Samsonov's probably not still in net. And a big bounce back for the Islanders here. So second period, It's 4-1. Josh Bailey gets his second of the game, and our acquisition at the deadline, Calle Yarncroc gets us on the board, and we've got a game kind of at least. Shots are even at 20 apiece, but we're trailing by 3 heading into the third, which is pretty rough. So we'll slow sim it, of course, and we'll see if we can rally back here and make this a closer game. We need to get one here early, but a power play to the Islanders do not help, and Leo Komarov, after the power play, gets a 5-1 goal. That is a 4-goal lead for the Islanders. We get multiple power plays here this period, but nothing comes of it, and it looks like we have been mega shut down this game. Jean-Gabriel Pageau makes it 6-1 late, and that was a poor game from Samsonov, a great game from Varlamov. Yeah, that was not a very good game. That was pretty rough. That was a pounding, really, from the Islanders there, and we've now been outscored 8-5 this series, and it's only 2 games, which is pretty crazy. So now we head to Washington, which could help us. Home ice advantage. Let's see what we can do in the first period here of Game 3. It's 1-1 after 1. Barzal and Kuznetsov, so not bad. It's 1-1. We are getting outshot 11-8, but nonetheless, still looks good from our end. Second period, it's 2-2. Bailey and Orlov with the goals. That's our first defensive goal of this series. We're still getting outshot, only by 1 now, though. Let's see what the third period holds for us. It's a tie game, which is good to see after that last game. A much closer game here. Let's see what we can do. Only 10 minutes to go. We get a power play halfway through the period. We do not concede, though. Or we do not get a goal, sorry. But Nick Dowd then scores to make it 3-2. Our bottom 6 getting in there. And Evgeny Kuznetsov with the second of the game with an empty netter. And that will be the 2-1 series lead. And that was a pretty intense game, actually. Samsonov played very well. A much better game that time around. A bounce-back game, to say the least. And Kuznetsov continues to lead our team in points. And you see the Blackhawks have swept the Anaheim Ducks already, and waiting for the Stars to see if they can sweep the Jets. So that will be, those will be the only 2 sweeps in the first round if Winnipeg does get swept. Nonetheless, we focus on our series. Game 4 here in Washington. We have a 2-1 series lead. Let's see what we can do here in game number 4. First period is similar to the last. It's 1-1. Leo Komarov and Connor McMichael with goals. Good to see Connor McMichael on the score sheet there. That's very nice. We're outshooting them by a lot. 14-8 right now. Isn't bad at all. So, second period now, and it is 2-2. Very similar to the last game. Eddie Green and Connor Sheary with goals. We were outshooting them 20-17. And again, for the second game in a row, we head to the third period, tied at 2 apiece. What can we do here in the third? Again, looking for some extra goals, looking to take a 3-1 series lead instead of having a 2-2 series like this game is right now. Shots are even. Shots are staying very close. Coming down to the wire here of the third, and we're going to overtime. The first overtime frame of this postseason for us. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure how overtime really works this year. Would love to be able to see an overtime go to like 4 overtimes, because that seems to be happening a decent amount here the past couple of years. A very long power play for us, which we were unable to score on, and both goalies are playing tremendous. We have 39 saves for Varlamov and 35 saves from Ilya Samsonov, and here we go, guys. We're going to the second overtime frame. If it's like past seasons, it'll end pretty quickly. Let's see what happens. And it will end quickly with a Matt Irwin goal. What a beauty. On our 40th shot of the night, Matt Irwin gets the game winner. Ilya Samsonov with 39 saves. Connor McMichael, a great game with 2 points there. And yeah, a phenomenal game from both goalies there. Varlamov also had himself a great game, but that depth 6th defenseman gets us the game winner. And we have another back-to-back here, but it may not even matter since we do have a 3-1 series lead. So let's see. So Dallas does eventually end up sweeping the Jets. So it'll be Dallas and Chicago in the next round over in the Western Conference. Vancouver has also moved on. Vancouver beating Colorado, I would have not expected that. Vegas is on the cusp of eliminating Calgary. Toronto eliminated the Carolina Hurricanes, and we're still waiting on all the rest of the Eastern Conference series. So let's see what we can do here in Game 5. Can we close out this series? We're back in New York. First period. Let's go. Oh my, a 5-2 start to the period. Cal Clutterbuck scores less than a minute in. Then we even it up just about a minute later on the power play with a Justin Schultz goal, and then a shorthanded goal just a few minutes later by Nick Dowd. Then we get a goal from Oshie and a goal from Mantha, and about, 45 seconds apart from each other. And that is 4 straight goals from Washington. Then Matt Barzal scores again to make it 5-2, or to make it 4-2, sorry, and then Ovi late in the period makes it 5-2. We're out shooting New York 15-13 right now. That's a crazy period to dissect. That's absurd. Can you imagine that actually happens in a playoffs game? That'd be crazy. A crazy intermission. All right, well, second period. If this first period has any indication of what this game is going to be like, this is going to be crazy. Second period, oh my God, it's 7-4. Ovi with a natural hat trick carries the momentum from his late goal in the first to get 2 more back-to-back in the third, and it's 7-4. Noah Dobson and Adam Pelech, two defensive goals from the Islanders. Neither goalie's doing great this time around, although of course Sorokin is in net now. He was put in for Varlamov. We're still out shooting them 28-24, but this is a crazy friggin' game. And we head into the third period up by 3, 7-4. Oliver Wahlstrom, though, makes it a 2-goal game pretty quick, 7-5. What is this game? This is absurd. A power play for Washington, which we did not concede, or we did not score on. And Oliver Wahlstrom with a natural hat trick. Okay, it is 7-7. Oliver Wahlstrom has put this team on his back, and it is somehow a 7-7 game. TJ Oshie, with 8 seconds left, though, sends us to the second round. Oh my God, what is this game? Oh, could you imagine if that happened in real life, man? TJ Oshie saved the Washington Capitals of a major embarrassment. We were leading this entire game. That was an absurd game. Oh my God. Who are the 3 stars? Oliver Wahlstrom with 3 goals and an assist and 4 hits. Alex Ovechkin with 3 goals, 2 assists. TJ Oshie with 2 goals, an assist, and 3 hits. What was that game? My God. So 4 points from, we're just going to look at both teams here. Oliver Wahlstrom with 4 points. Brock Nelson with 4 points. Mayfield, Pelech, Barzal, Palmieri, and Dobson with 2 points. Bailey, Lee, and Clutterbuck with a point. Cizikas, Green, Pajot, Beauvillier, Pulak, Komarov, Parise, and Char were the only ones without a point. And then for goalies, neither goalie played great, especially not Varlamov, my God. He was averaging 19 goals against. Not actually, but yeah, that was a poor game from every goalie that was in that game, I think. So let's see. Ovechkin led the way with 5 points. Oshie, Backstrom with 3. Carlson, Wilson, and Mantha with 2. Jalowski, Dowd, Schultz, Eller, Kuznetsov with 1. And then Kempny, Orlov, Sheary, McMichael, Irwin, Sprong, and Yarncroc, the only ones without a point. And, Samsonov's stats are a little bit better, but of course, he let in 7 goals. So that was a very odd series and a very odd way to end that series. And we're waiting for Buffalo and Pittsburgh to move on. So we've got a couple days to figure out who our next opponent is going to be. I'm intrigued to see who it's going to be. I'm going to say it's Buffalo. Why not? We got a Game 7 over in the Western Conference, and it is going to be Pittsburgh, of course. Poetic. Calgary and Vegas are going to Game 7, and Boston beats the Florida Panthers. Wow, this is like the most expected, or not expected, this is like the most anticipated rivalry matchups here in the Eastern Conference. Also just realized that Tampa didn't make the playoffs. Actually, I think I said that in the last episode. Anyways, so yeah, Toronto versus Boston in the second round. Imagine Toronto won 4 games in the playoffs. And Pittsburgh and Washington as well. So that is crazy. That is absurd. I do want to take a look at what what Samsonov's stats are looking like throughout this entire series so far. An 890 save percentage, averaging just about 3.5 goals against per game, which is not very good. But I'm hoping that was just a crazy series and it'll calm down, or his stats will be fixed a little bit here in the second round against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's go and take a look at what Pittsburgh looks like. Of course, you guys know what our team looks like, so let's see what the Penguins look like. So we've got Malkin playing on the top left wing with Crosby and Gensel. Very solid top line. Their power line is up at the top there. On the second line, Jason Zucker, Jason Zucker and Jeff Carter. My bad, I'm an idiot. With Kasperi Kapanen, a very interesting second line, which I really like. Brian Ross, Danton Heinen, and Brock McGinn on the third line, which I really like. Zach Aston-Reese, Sam Lafferty, and Teddy Bluger on the fourth line. A very good fourth line as well. Brian Dumoulin with Chris Letang. Brian Dumoulin has a superstar X Factor. Interesting. So does Marcus Peterson, who's playing with John Marino. And Chad Ruedel with Michael Matheson. Pretty solid decor. Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith are the goalies. And it looks like Jarry was the one playing instead of DeSmith. But after that first round... Sorry. Tired, guys. After that first round, maybe a sign to put DeSmith in. I mean, we may have to put Copley in. It's definitely something we can look into, but nonetheless, we are in Pittsburgh to start off this series. Pittsburgh with the home ice advantage. No games have been played yet in the second round, so let's see what happens here on the first night of the second round in Pittsburgh. This series has happened so many times, especially over the past decade and a half. So let's see. First period of game one, Washington, Pittsburgh. A 2-0 start for the Capitals. Connor McMichael and Evgeny Kuznetsov make it 2-0 for us. A very good start. We are getting outshot 8-11, but shout out to Samsonov for keeping us in this with 11 saves that period. And then on to the second period. It is 4-1 for Washington. Danton Heinen makes it a 1-goal game, but then TJ Oshie and Anthony Mantha make it a 4-1 game. We have a 3-goal lead heading into the third period and still getting outshot, but 23 saves right now from Ilya Samsonov, which is a great start to this game and to this series. We have a power play early in the period. We do not score on it, but halfway through the period, we still have a 3-goal lead and another power play. Again, we do not score on it, but that is okay. 2 minutes to go, and it's looking like we win this game. We will win this game 4-1, 38-30 were the shots. Really good there. 2 points from Kuznetsov and Mantha led the way for us. Samsonov with 29 saves, and of course, like I said, Kuznetsov and Mantha with the other 2 stars of the game with 2 points each. So a great start to this game. We're now on a 4-game win streak, which is nice to see as well. So we head to the second game in this series, a back-to-back, and again, of course, in Pittsburgh. Let's see what we can do with this 1-0 series lead. We're down 1-0 after one. Sidney Crosby scores the opening goal of the game. We're getting outshot 13-6, which is not good at all. Hopefully we can redeem ourselves here in the second period. Let's see what we can do. Not good. Jeff Carter, Sam Lafferty, and Chris Letang make it 4-0. And, that's a pretty poor period from us. We're getting outshot 27-11. What an answer from the Penguins here. We will slow sim the third. This is not looking good. I mean, shout out to Samsonov for only letting in 4 goals, because it's been all him. Lars Eller with back-to-back goals, though, gets us in this game. And halfway through the period, we are only down by 2 now. And we have woken up for this third period, but too little too late, perhaps, and I think it will be. Sidney Crosby nets an empty netter to close out that game, and it's going to be a 1-1 series. Pittsburgh outshooting us 38-20. Crosby with 2 goals, Letang with a goal and an assist, and Eller, of course, with 2 goals. But again, too little too late, unfortunately. So we head to Washington with a 1-1 series, and this is pretty much identical to what the series against the Islanders looked like so far. So let's see if that will continue or not. Now in Washington, game number 3, first period, it's 1-1. Evgeny Malkin on the power play and John Carlson with one as well. It's 1-1. So some of the star players on both sides get goals. 11 to 10 of the shots in favor of Pittsburgh. Not a bad period, though. A pretty even period. Let's go second period now. It is still 1-1. Shots are 22 apiece. And like I said, a very even game so far. So let's go third period. We will see what happens. TJ Oshie opens the third period scoring, which is great. We have a 2-1 lead now. Looks like it might have been right off a face-off. And Evgeny Kuznetsov in the slot makes it 3-1, and we have a 2-goal lead heading into the second half of this third period. We had a power play, which we did not score. Evgeny Malkin gets his second of the game, though, to make it a 1-goal game late in this period, and we have a game here. But we are able to hold the Penguins off to just one other goal, and we win this game 3-2. 28 saves from Ilya Samsonov is great. Of course, Kuznetsov with the eventual game winner, I believe. And that is very, very good. We have a 2-1 series lead now. Boston also has a 2-1 series lead. So does Vegas and so does Chicago. So everyone has a 2-1 series lead right now. Or every series there is a 2-1 series lead, I should say. Not everyone has it. But anyways, we move on to game number 4. Again in Washington. We have a 2-1 series lead. Can we force it to a 3-1 series? Let's see. First period of game 4. We're down 1-0. Teddy Bluger with the opening goal of the game. We're getting double our shots outshot right now by the Penguins, 14-7. Not a great start, but that's okay. Second period now. We're still trailing by 1, but we really brought it back in shots there where we did the exact opposite. So the first period, Pittsburgh gets 14, we get 7. Then second period, Pittsburgh only gets 7, and we get 14. So not too bad, but can we get on the score sheet here? Trailing by 1, heading into the third still. What can we do here in the third? Jason Zucker makes it 2-0 for the Penguins. Brian Dumoulin makes it 3-0 for the Penguins. He's laughing at me now for me laughing at him for having an X factor. And halfway through the period, we get a power play. Teddy Bluger gets his second of the game, though. Nick Dowd with a late goal for us, but I think that's just not enough, and it's going to be a 4-1 game probably. It will be. The Pittsburgh Penguins tie this series, make it 2-2. Teddy Bluger, probably the first star. With a 2-goal game, of course. Tristan Jarry with 25 saves, and Jason Zucker with the third star. So a good answer back from the Pens there, and a very back-and-forth series so far as we head back to Pittsburgh. Both games on home ice so far, or both splits on home ice have been split. So let's see what we can do back in Pittsburgh. We have a 50% chance of winning here, so let's see if we can up that percentage. First period of Game 5, a 2-2 series, now down to a best-of-3. Okay, we're up 3-1. Mantha, Eller, Schultz with goals back to back to back in about 8 minutes from each other. And then Chad Ruedel with a late goal definitely gives Pittsburgh some momentum. But we do have a 3-1 lead heading into the second period. Look at those Eller and Mantha goals. They're like on top of the goalie. Rip Tristan Jarry. We are out shooting Pittsburgh as well. One of the few periods we've been out shooting Pittsburgh so far from this series. All right. Second period. We're up 4-2. Tom Wilson on the power play, and then Evgeny Malkin on the power play. 24-19 out of the shot, still in favor of us. And we were in a very good position to take this series to a 3-2 series. We had a power play, which we did not capitalize on. Funny, Capitals. Pittsburgh had a power play as well. They have another power play, and on the power play, Evgeny Malkin scores his second power play goal of the game. We get a power play, and Tom Wilson scores his second power play goal of the game. They're just going back and forth on the power play right now. 5-3 lead with only a minute to go, and it looks like that will be the game. That will be the game. Washington takes a 3-2 series lead. We outshot Pittsburgh 38-27 there. Tom Wilson, 2-1. Anthony Mantha, 1-2. Evgeny Malkin, 2 goals. A pretty crazy game there as well. Back and forth goals from Wilson and Malkin, which is pretty funny. Then we've got game number 3 here, or game number 3, sorry. Game number 6 here. We have the 3-2 series lead is what I meant to say. Now, every series is 3-2 right now as well. Toronto now has the lead. Vegas has the lead, and Chicago still has the lead. So, game 6, what can we do? Let's go. First period of game 6 in Washington. All right, Ovechkin on the power play late in the game makes it 1-0 for us. We are out shooting Pittsburgh as well, which is very nice to see. Second period, it is 2-1. Jason Zucker and John Marino with goals for Pittsburgh. So we're trailing heading into the third. We're also trailing in the shot category, only by 1 though. Let's see if we can bring it back and tie this game here in this third period. What can we do? We can. Alex Ovechkin with his second goal of the game, in a pretty similar position to where he scored his first. We get a long power play after that, which we do not score. We get another power play opportunity, though. Again, we do not score. But 5 minutes to go in this game, and it's a 2-2 game. Looks like we're going overtime, and we are. 43-39 are the shots in favor of the Capitals. What will this overtime period look like? I am intrigued. Power play goal. I jinxed it. I totally jinxed it. I'll just say power play for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Brock McGinn with the overtime winner makes this series a 7-game series. Okay. We've got a series here, guys. Tristan Jarry, the first star with 41 saves. Ovechkin, of course, with 2 goals. And Brock McGinn, definitely deserving of that third star because he gets the game winner, the overtime game winner, probably the biggest goal of his career. And we head to Game 7. We have another Game 7 between Chicago and Dallas. Vegas moves on to the conference finals for like the third season in their like 5-year history, which is crazy. We've got 2 Game 7s here in the Eastern Conference, of course. It wouldn't be Toronto and Boston, and it wouldn't really be Pittsburgh and Washington without going in Game 7. I mean, Toronto and Boston always go to Game 7, where Washington and Pittsburgh seem to always go to Game 6. So let's see what we can do, at least if my memory serves me right. Game 7 in Pittsburgh. We're going to slow sim every single period, because why not? Leave it up to the gods. An early power play for Pittsburgh, which they do not score on, which is a great start. A power play for Washington. Can we score on ours? We cannot. Another power play for Washington. We're giving up a lot of penalties this series by the looks of it. We get another power play opportunity, though, and Sidney Crosby with 3 seconds left in the period gets a goal for the Penguins, and that is a ball breaker, to say the least. Oh, that's horrible. 3 seconds left in the period. We are almost get out of that period with a tie game, but unfortunately we don't. And we're trailing by 1 heading into the second period. Getting outshot as well. Can we come back and tie this game, though? That is the question. And power play goal from Sidney Crosby at a pretty tough angle. We're getting outshot 20-9 right now. We had a power play of our own, but we're still trailing by 2. It is not looking good for Washington, although Anthony Mantha shuts me up and says, it's okay, we've got a 1-goal game. We've got a 1-goal game heading into the third. We're not in a terrible position, but we are still getting outshot an absurd amount right now. Also, if you can hear my dogs, I'm sorry. Anyways, third period. What can we do here in the third period? A power play early in the period for Washington, which we do not score on. We have brought the shots back very close. Halfway through the third, and we are still trailing by 1. Are we going to be able to tie this game and force an overtime? We're coming down to the wire, and Chad Ruedel with 1:44 to go gets the dagger of this series for the Washington Capitals, and yeah, the Pittsburgh Penguins eventually end up beating us in a 7-game series. Tristan Jarry with 31 saves, Sidney Crosby, of course. That 3-second left goal really hurt us, and that's tremendously unfortunate. If we just don't concede a goal there with the last 3 seconds of the game, we probably have a tie game there, well, at least until that Chad Ruedel goal, and then I mean, who knows what could have happened if it had been a tie game. Toronto moves on to face the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Dallas moves on to face Vegas. A very interesting top four this season. And unfortunately, that will be the end of the Washington Capitals postseason adventure in the 2021-2022 season. So that's unfortunate. We might as well take a look at the rest of... Well, is our AHL team... Oh, AHL's already done. Oh, my. Okay, I did not know that. Nonetheless, let's just sim through to almost the draft. We'll see who wins the Stanley Cup here, because we'll see that, and then we'll see. So the Stanley Cup right now is Vegas and Toronto. Very interesting. We'll sim about a week to see if this series is over or not. And Vegas will win the Stanley Cup for the first time in franchise history, beating the Toronto Maple Leafs in the final. So let's go take a look at some awards now, because why not? So let's see. Vegas, of course, winning the Stanley Cup. Of course, 5 years ago in their first season, they made it to the finals. Then the second season, they made it to the second round. Then back-to-back conference finals against... Who did they play against? I don't remember. Well, it was Dallas one year, and then it was Montreal last year. So, and of course, they win the Stanley Cup this year. A great start to their campaign. That's absurd. Their average placing in the Stanley Cups, or in the Stanley Cup playoffs, is like top 4. So that's pretty good. Let's see. Oh, okay, that was weird. President's Trophy goes to Chicago. Of course, Vegas and Toronto were the final 2 teams. Very interesting. And individual awards. Art Ross goes to Nathan MacKinnon, as well as Hart. Nicoletti wins to James Norris, as I kind of expected, which is crazy. That's so odd. Nicoletti on Detroit wins the Norris. Lady Byng to Nathan MacKinnon for the second time in 3 seasons. Trevor Zegras wins the Calder. Max Pacioretty wins the Conn Smythe. Peter Mrazek with the Vezina. Very interesting. He also takes home the William M. Jennings this season. Nikita Zadorov wins the Bill Masterton. Jack Adams goes to the Buffalo Sabres head coach, which is very understandable considering they made the playoffs. O'Reilly wins his second Selke in 4 years. And McKinnon with the Ted Lindsay. And, of course, Matthews wins back-to-back Maurice Richards, perhaps taking the torch away from Alex Ovechkin. So that will be the end of today's episode, guys. Hope you all did enjoy. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.